Jumedi if you the bia 5 p.m. or Ashanti Prime TV. Ashanti Prime TV. Aha na nakware no wo. The show me no mi no nkomodi. That's
Asante your mind. Ni sentina Ashanti Prime TV. Edi jumedi on waso sonko bi eba so. Ni atoni din say Spotlight Hub. Any trending issue. Me mosonfo. Genuine Diamond. And I'm did jumedi eba somo. Ejada bia. Any wokuada bia. 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Na jumedi shisha subutu. So ye up and coming musician, actor, actress, empo social media influencer. Don't hear any say obefa number na e chego screen nasino. Fraying. Nani endin sa wasway. No be yadachi enstroma. Spotlight Hub jumedi yisudie. See release interview. Na se eshemu mpoa. Ubetu. Ashanti Prime TV. Aha. Enanekre TV. Edi jumedi on waso sonko bi eba so. Ni atoni din say Spotlight Hub. Any trending issue. Me mosonfo. Genuine Diamond. And I'm did jumedi eba somo. Ejada bia. Any wokuada bia. 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Na jumedi
Ene yawada oforisi obosomene de toso dunsia ewa fimpimienu eni aduenu ensiamu Premo ato ewa Ashanti Prime TV so emra so sensema yensa kan ewa man Ghana eni amahodo so ni edika editio semufu agina ntenten no akruchie edi agukrata so edi amamenemede ba besom wo se Prime ewia Premotobre Kaseɛ ensema ewia mede ba besom no edos ye ni edi makutini bi enie Ghana Mampany His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ene washe amomadan eye free healthcare ejumedie no edi so ene oso afosha amahodo so ensem so nyamfo Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa akasa ensem we ne ensem awdu pie kanam de ba besomwo e wosimaji asante mi amaje pene edi awi akase bo besomwo edi ameje so ane miss nafsat mi twa me ho abasesia Mesan isi amu akwa baby mu ediaba Ashanti Prime TV so afeje break na yendo ensem no musuko endrada na Ghana Mampany His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ehweye ema eye free primary healthcare eye policy no hwe edan na di nenei wakasa edi ato abontene se dwumadie bra na wo to ato adwene asresi adwene na ye wo mpanimfo bi a oboa ye embesi eneye dwumadie no atumi abamu ampara nti se bra so se ye fa adwumayefo a obehwe na wona wo volunteer en wadi kan afa won ansana eye anese ni adokutafo aye behia wo no ya fa wo maka ho
would be the ones who would be the primary administrators of the pre-primary healthcare. But we're going to have a category that we call health volunteers. This will include national service people. It will include nurses and other paramedics who have finished school and are waiting for posting. We'll deploy them in the free primary healthcare service until when it's time for posting. For those who volunteer and take part in the free primary healthcare, when it's time for posting, we'll give them the priority in terms of posting. And so there will be the health volunteers. They will go from place to place. Some of them will work in the what we call the health kiosk. Others will come to the community with all the equipment, and then they can sit under a tree, and then you just come and take your test quickly. You'll be checked for breast cancer. They will be trained how to check for breast cancer. They'll be trained how to take your blood pressure, measure your sugar, and all that. They have a scale. They will measure to see if you are too heavy. That is, they call it the body mass index. Your height and your weight must correspond. There's something called body mass index. They take your weight as a proportion of your height. So if you are shorter, you must be leaner. If you are taller, you can be heavier, but you must also be within a certain body mass index, so that you avoid any of these non-communicable diseases. And so they'll have those weighing scales. You sit on it, they'll tell you you are overweight by this amount. So cut down your banku a bit.
Adishma by 217. So Ghana Mampenia Bedi, Professor Jane Nana Opoku, Ajimayene Wakasa, Ediatum Penifua, Wojina, my Ghana, and Nemu Ewama, who was a so best say, Yabo, my Ghana, who has say, I want a Wojina, one mem, Ewa Hasene, Yadia Walton, or money, paint a best Ghana, Adishio Wama, who was a Wojinem, Ediama Ghana, you know, one share, and I won't tongue or mine, said a bear. The
African Free Continental Trade Area. It may look, but trade is also as an important part of your responsibility. How do you promote this through all the agencies and the directorates that you have? And I know that there's so much more that you can do in order to ensure that our investments are also going far. And I use, something I've said, in other carrying. So I was very, very happy to be part of that discussion about the KPIs. And so those of us in country, we also have a role to play to support those who are outside.
Less stressful. Ghanaians holding our passports should feel proud, should have more value with the passports that they have. And I can confirm to you, Madam Vice President, that we have, over these last few months, been able to negotiate additional visa waiver agreements, and the count now is at about 50. We have about 50 countries that Ghanaians can travel to visa-free without requiring visas. So far, we've negotiated about 23. The last time we did the count, Madam Vice President, we have over the last year negotiated 23 new visa waiver agreements. So out of the 50 now, we can account for 23. We've done almost half in just a year.
Wasansem Kronemu and a Professor Jina na Upukwajman, Kasa, Edia Basbody Shonku, Kodema, Aya say your Shama who joins some so opinion or dano, and when Munyan for Samuel Kujetu, a black was saying, ye share your passport, a one sense may a dear quay sin and can, and was your boss one Koswa, no Munya Juma, Panadachi Biano, a don't be Yahu Akechia.
Seem like a small thing for some of us, but it's a big thing. Look at our roads, look at the distance of traveling, and some of us too, and the way we do work. If we can do the thing in 5 minutes, it will take 2 days. And people have traveled and they don't know where to stay, and small things. So you see, we can all help to reduce the frustrations we create for ourselves and our own people. So, Foreign Affairs, thank you very much. This is a very, very important, for creating centers in all the regions, for reducing the costs, for the e-visa and making the distinction. That's very, very important for us. And the one-day passport. Sometimes, maybe let's say you are taken ill, and you have to move quickly, and your passport has expired. You didn't decide to get ill, but that's what the situation is. Or you have to travel on very short notice for whatever the reason. So these are very, very humane interventions. And again, I want to commend you for introducing this to us. We must reset this country in very serious ways. And every ministry has a role to play, including the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Madam Vice President, we have totally overhauled passport administration. We have introduced a new chip-embedded passports to comply with ICAO standards. So Ghana is now fully ICAO compliant with the latest state of the art. Indeed, our passport has been shortlisted for an international award. It is one of the most secure and sophisticated travel documents you can find anywhere in the world. We have also cleared the backlog. We met a backlog of about 40,000. We've cleared all of that backlog, and we've now brought...
for Penny Edema NPP Amanyokunu Eyonmonyam for Justin Frimpon Kujia. Ene wakasa edi atwabonti ne se bi NDC Amanyokunu ni emebi wo honoma oya emfa kwem enswani esan se asewusi na enya for NPP ni ho pe na asem no mo be process ya manakwa kodru court asem no yedru court aye betina atokra na wanya husi nipa no wanya edi ntwo e ba sanso ana ensem fata esa na se kabi ma menka bi amamu no NDC Amanyokunu eye efiro nto besere se won to woni emeyi na ye Ghana en wo bu enye NDC Amanyokunu nko ana wo bu
ebre bia asem kase besu o mami efa aban no ho na aban nanim gu ase no na eso mu ye bibia betwe Ghana fo adwene afiri so ene LGBTQ ho asem ade aban ne share bo bra no opposition se oba within 3 months no be pass sa emra no ene Ghana fo busa na o ma peni ma se nya ade ehia sesi asem aba asofofo ka ho asem Ghana fo ka ho asem obi a che ne ho adwene no aban ne pese yi Ghana fo adwene firi so nti saade a ye be chechi opponents fo ne no abe news ene asem ye ka ne se sabi ye wo judges fo bi wo ha omo kra de omo ye NDC fo kra se NDC fo a de say no ma from remand judges omo de madwuma ne se NDC fo chi obi a de ma koma omo no ma omo remand 1 week 2 weeks ebre kra prosecution fo kra nka se ye remand nkrofo no judges na aka se ye be remand omo eno sa nguase a sabi ekoso ewo ye judiciary ho no eno na you raba for money. Yes, you catch us say yes, sir. Ghana sabi, and no soldier buy and yet to so. A coming can be a memory also. Now said the end and judges for by year, Juma money year far, a dear Ghana able to be a one. They will judges for the be, they will good Juma in mass.
Yera Mahamane ni NDC. A dear bang some pan or man can fa MPP abain. Yera Kufado, and then Yera Baumyaho. Malik was in telling etimi koye Facebook post former vice president ekura ensa won ensa baakum no say ekura eye preko pork won ensa baakum when you know say eye haram for a Muslim why na kwache no sabre na yewura Baumia eye chairman for police council why no kasi yan kwache no san say we never wanted to criminalize free speech. Sam George, eka say wo to aba e dia ma Baumia dia ene napa na nim say wo to say aba say because omo de mo ha for gay sem ne ade ade ababa mando ye ene say ene president to buy wo say LGBTQE wo no oba wo be sensan wa munya mu mfasode na brantie no ekoye ene ode LGBTQ kalesi ode adware mo kama ene ode akoto social media so ene mo tikọ apai na ade a onya mu mfaso no ene oba ya ye mu adwuma no se wonye na wonye na se obi ka to se ne ka na kwa se mo fofo aso de a ene otiko apai. Justice Joseph Kunsun say no obusa omo question eti abrante mu hia no kra ena prosecution say oh asen when because oba ye to nsa frɛ no oba nipa mu ye to nsa frɛ no ko sunyane ena no afi nipim koye enye se wo dwane onko ba bia afi yankote beti a judge say okay se mu hia no mama no remand onko dem no nsa amna 20 how efa na se mu bisi ye ni ono no ye investigation no ga se o hia no ba judge anya wo na wo ye investigation so chinchira anya hia ne temfa no kwetwe aba gokum. Here in the new patriotic party we are going to be resilient, we are resolute, we are going to stay united,
Osafo Hwengumesian so eyon monyamfo Haruna Ijusu ne wate abejuku eno no ba beboa amasuapon ahodo a wabiebie foforo e wo manga ne mu hasei no wode enhwehwemu begu akwemu ahye se anokwa eye akade ne niema wowo no etumi eboa won omomo tete nipa sesuapon e wo Ghana ha sei ana
John Dramani Mahama. Higher education remains a critical public good and a critical public need because there are many young people in Ghana who are still having difficulty in accessing quality higher education across the country. So at the request of Her Excellency the Vice President, the President requested that we put this committee together to advise government on the establishment of new public universities in Ghana. So your recommendations, when you so submit to Excellency John Dramani Mahama, as part of his research for higher education, I'm sure will go through cabinet and go through parliament. The trust of your work, apart from inclusivity, ensuring presence, that every region of Ghana is a desire and vision of the president should have a university of its own in order to expand these assets. But the primary focus of the committee in the establishment of the universities should be guided by three important values. Higher education, how does it contribute to deepening research and innovation, apart from just merely expanding assets? And two, how does higher education respond to the contemporary needs of our country, in particular its manpower needs and manpower requirements, and focus for the future human resource training and development of the country. The other will be the relationship between training, skills development, and academic development, and industry, commerce, and the private sector relevance. How do we make higher education increasingly responsive and relevant to our national development priority needs as a country? And we all know what higher education has done and will do in Ghana's quest to achieve sustainable.
Adishman ba ye to ansem ne so ada ene Ghana Statistical Service mpanimfo akasa edianto abonte ne sese ye hwe Ghana eye afe 2026 March bosumi a echemu sede na ne mabo ewo fom ne ye hwe eye epobosumi a yesima no kwayade a ne mabo ayedin ne nso hyebo se yade aban no ebo ne homodin so wode nhihye pa begu akwam na ne mabo asan so abafom
5% in March 2026. But beneath this low number, prices are moving in very different directions across sectors. Let me briefly explain what this means. The Producer Price Index tracks prices that producers receive at the factory gates. Year-on-year inflation compares prices to the same month last year, while month-on-month inflation compares prices to the previous month. Now, to the key results. In March 2026, the Producer Price Index rose to 280.3, up from 278.4 in February. Year-on-year producer inflation stands at 1.5%, slightly higher than the 1.4% recorded in February 2026, but far lower than the 24.4% we saw a year ago. This tells us that overall price pressures remain subdued. However, On a month-on-month basis, prices increased by 0.7% between February and March. This signals that short-term pressures are beginning to build. Now let's look beneath the surface. Mining and quarry, the largest sector, recorded inflation of 3.9% in March 2026, down from 4.1% in February 2026. This means factory gate prices in the mining and quarrying subsector increased by 3.9% in March compared to 4.1% in February. Manufacturing remains in negative territory at negative 2.2% compared to negative 2.9% in February. This means factory gate prices in the manufacturing sector reduced by 2.2% in March. For government...
Mashebejani Edema of Tonabaton Pesuaso, Ayon Bunyan for Samuel Okujeto, Ablakwana, a Quincy, a Jumedia, El Coso, Ewo, a Yesege, Aveime, and Aukupium, El Honomawakase, and a bato and a mefe, a Quincy, a Oyen, and Abino, Ayadi, Pan, who would you say, Enquire Sabosomica Crebi. Ebabeka eye epobus me hono na ekwansi no modi aba na wieye kama de amade hia ewo hono.
In terms of the road construction, I'm impressed with what the contractors are doing. On this corridor, we have two main road projects, the Sege Aveime Bato Mefe road project. It's progressing very well. And then we also have the Aveime to Asuchari road project. And that is a very important corridor because that is the agric food basket of our constituency and the larger Volta and Greater Accra region. If you also consider the fact that that is the same enclave where we are to have the new Volivo Bridge, then you should know that that is a very, very important corridor. So I must commend President Mahama for prioritizing the development of my constituency. These are all projects that go beyond the funding capacity of a member of parliament. You need to lobby, you need to talk to the president so that the president can prioritize these projects within the national agenda. And so I must commend President Mahama for prioritizing North Tongue. I am confident that by next year, this constituency will be totally transformed. We are going to have new road networks. Apart from the Sege Aveime Bato Mepe Road, the Aveime Asuchari Road. We are also going to complete the Japon Podoi Abutia Road, and we are going to also complete the Dofo to Mafia Didome Enclave Road project, and then we'll do the Volivo to Dofo Didome Bridge. I really have been excited about this tour. This is only one side of the constituency, the Bato Mepe traditional areas. So we have two traditional areas on this side. On the other side of the river, we have four traditional areas, Volu, Dofo, Fojoku, Togome, and all these traditional areas have their own unique projects. The drainage you've done about?
The drainage we've done more than 17,000.
Oh, okay. So that's about 80%, huh?
About 80%.
You've done well. Aiko, Melajia. Good. So overall, how many workers do you have?
For the workers, we have more than 100 workers.
Okay. I noticed when I was coming from Segeda, you've also started. That's good.
Also for sharp umudensem so eyon munyamfo kwabena minta akando. Ene wakasa edi atrabonte se eye free primary health care eye policy a aban edi abano. Enya Ghana ha se nkwan kopie mu ewo Brazil ene Thailand ya de omo ye ewo hono nye ne ya no mo hyase acha ebua omana de hye ewo hono nti aban ne nso aye crowd so man Ghana obia pomuden ho nsem ebetu mponti na odudwumadi ebisei abenti memma ne nhye otirim se wo tena ase ne wa yare nko ansa na wakọ ayare sabia wo hono ma na wakọ ni ahwehwe eye wo moje mu ne widie mu nyina ede ama wo sempo yare bi etete beebi a ehwe se be unity ede aba no wahwe.
Healthcare is the most effective pathway to achieving universal health coverage. The World Health Organization estimates that scaling up primary health care could save up to 60 million lives worldwide by 2030. Countries such as Thailand, Brazil, and Rwanda achieved universal health coverage by making a deliberate, decisive decision to invest first in primary health care. Ghana has made significant progress over the years. We have expanded CHIPS, introduced the National Health Insurance Scheme, and improved key health outcomes. But we must also be honest with ourselves. Out-of-pocket expenditure remains high at around 35% of total health spending. Many Ghanaians still delay seeking care, and non-communicable diseases are rising rapidly. Too many of our people enter the health system late when conditions are worse, severe, treatment is more costly, and outcomes are worse. Your Excellency, this is why this initiative is transformational. This reform would deliver, first and foremost, financial protection. Primary health care services within the defined package will now be free at the point of use for all Ghanaians. Additionally, we will use this opportunity to encourage all uninsured people to enroll on the National Health Insurance Scheme. This will enable them to access care at district, regional, and tertiary hospitals, as well as more advanced primary health care services not included in the free primary health care package. Second, it marks a decisive shift towards prevention. Routine screening, early diagnosis, and proactive community outreach will become standard practice and not occasional interventions. Third, it ensures integrated and equitable care delivery. CHIPS compounds, health centers, and polyclinics will be linked into a seamless system that will improve continuity of care, efficiency, and outcomes. And fourth, it represents a fundamental financing reform, moving us towards paying for health and prevention, not just for ill and treatment. In other words, we are moving from sick care to health care. Your Excellency, by 2030, we expect to see out-of-pocket expenditure fall below 20%, to see over 95% of Ghanaians accessing essential primary health care services, to see reduced congestions at our hospitals, and to see a stronger, more resilient health system. This is how countries achieve universal health coverage, and this is how Ghana will achieve it. Mr. President, I am pleased to report that we are ready. We have completed the costing and financing frameworks. We have initiated the necessary legislative reforms. We have strengthened coordination across the Ministry of Health, the Ghana Health Service, the Christian Health Association of Ghana, the National Health Insurance Authority, and our partners. We have procured over 24,000 pieces of essential medical equipment, including incubators, glucometers, hospital beds, and ultrasound machines to support services delivery across the country. We are advancing digital health systems to ensure transparency, monitoring, and accountability. Over the next 2 months, Ghanaians will begin to see this transformation in full action. We will distribute equipment to all 150 districts that will be part of the first phase of the implementation. We will intensify community sensitization through town halls and engagements. We will deploy trained volunteers to support our community health workforce. And we will establish over 350 container-based service delivery points in high-traffic areas with mobile populations such as markets and lorry parks. Very soon, health workers and volunteers will not only be waiting at the facilities, they will be in
a Public Accounts Committee a Utenitia FNSE pa kashe wonjumedie ase ene mpanimfo na ekokobu akonta ede ama wonwuma wo yedene MC ede ma West Mamprusi eyon monyamfo Mohammed Rabiu Jaba akwa kopiemu ewo ho ne bro okopiemu ne ebisa no afa ahoniye ho nsem sede ekọ ewo West Mamprusi no nso kirechiremu ekwan a wofa so a oda ho ne die mu nsem ekọ ewo ho no
MC, okay. I think with regards to the sanitation Aside the outstanding contracts, the others are being managed by ourselves because we are deploying people to do the cleanup on ourselves so that they don't come to take it to the dumping sites.
That aside outstanding contracts, what outstanding contracts?
When we came in, there were contracts that were signed that had not expired yet.
Which ones?
The conveying of...
that's the SIP.
Then it's the same sanitation and it says sanitation and improvements.
And then fumigation. So they are still
so
standing
the
contract with the
fumigation contract is still outstanding.
It's still a standing contract with the assembly.
So
even though
is it
now
deducted from
yes.
DACF headquarters?
No, please.
You do
now
it yourself.
Direct. Yes, please.
Okay. Okay.
So, in terms of fumigation, do you monitor the work?
Yes, we do.
Indeed, Mr. Chairman, let me add that because there's commitment as far as payment is concerned, they request for payment and we send our expert to go and satisfy that job has been satisfactorily done. Management is advised, then we proceed with payment, and that has been what we've been doing. Indeed, one of them...
No, that's not how it's supposed to be. Because once they finish their job, you are supposed to sign. So that if you later send your people to go and verify if the work has been done, then you have done nothing. Yes,
Mr. Chairman,
that is the procedure.
While the work is done, some of the environmental health officers are with them. And when they request
so put it
for
on
payment,
record that way.
We normally do final certification before payment is.
So fumigation, where and where you have been fumigating?
We have all the public toilets are usually fumigated, and then most of our market square, because it has been particularly those ones that usually attract a lot of people, like the one.
Kaseɛbɔ yɛbɛnya bi ɛwɔ abɛɛfo ntenten fidie so ahwɛ Facebook Ashanti Prime TV, TikTok Ashanti Prime TV na YouTube enso Ashanti Prime TV si eto ansɛm ne so ani efiri ɔman Ghana na yɛde ani akyerɛ mu ɛwɔ amahodoɔ so nsɛm mu ene yɛade hye a ɛwɔ Sudan ɔmo nso ano demo how enyina ene sebe mfie nan nie ɛna basabasa yɛ mentime ho asenye ntɔkwa ketewa ɛma na homene so ɛwɔ Sudan a ebesi nne na nkosusu senka ne die adruidie enka obia ede nakodie ebegu fam nenso e kamia yesafe kra na eye basabasa ya na ase ekun emu ayedin eye sanso ana ade hye wo honom no sebisebi omasumdue ho akwakoye ensem bebre nti wakasa ede atompenefo anim se wosere se ne adruidie won hye na nka obia fa nakodie emu fam se de be ya asumdue betumi asan so aba eye Sudan ebiem
of the conflict with a symbolic tree planting event calling for renewed global attention and action.
Stop defending these warlords. We are telling Kenya as a country, stop giving refuge to those that are leading this war in Sudan. Stop issuing passports to individuals who are responsible for deaths and mayhem in a neighboring country. We've had enough already, and we cannot allow Kenya to be complicit in this war.
For many Sudanese displaced by the war, the longing for home remains overwhelming.
I'm from Sudan, here in Nairobi 7 months ago. I really want to war stop. I want to go home. I miss Sudan. I miss my home. I miss my family and my neighbors. I really want the war to stop.
The conflict has forced an estimated 30 million people from their homes, creating what aid agencies call the world's largest humanitarian crisis.
We decided that to honor this day, we shall be planting trees. And the tree is not just by an ad hoc decision, it's very intentional because we understand from our Sudanese comrades that the tree is actually a tree of hospitality or tree of warmth because of its big and thick shade. People sit under it.
Yanto obi man so nsem ne so e wo Haiti ne ne okopie mu e wo honom a e ade abusua e wo honom nso anodam esan se fangobo ayeden anam so ama eye lorry fare ya tutumu komontene so anua ne ya tume nsuo ni ama bebre esan se eye fangobo ayeden ya tutu lorry fare mu ntina aka bibia eye san so na ama ho kire na esi wo honom omu se Iran tokwai e ha adwen de eden so wo sere mpanimfo se wonhwe na wonye bibi pebi emfa ho.
Essential food products. This market vendor says she's paying $2 more for the rice she buys to resell. The price of spaghetti too has increased by $3. They eat less because they don't eat as much as they should. That means the product's price has increased. I don't have the opportunity. I don't cook the way we did. If you eat something in the morning, wait until night to have a light dinner. There's no way we can eat 3 times a day anymore. With more needs and fewer resources, the families already spending most of their income on food will face impossible trade-offs. According to the World Food Programme, almost half of Haiti's nearly 12 million inhabitants already face high levels of acute food insecurity. For me, the essential thing is to stop the fuel price hike. The state must do it because people are unemployed or their wages are not increasing. We need to make the state do something for the population. Hundreds of factory workers marched for the 3rd consecutive day in the capital Port-au-Prince Wednesday to demand a raise in the minimum salary amid the recent...
Na ekamia yese fango hu nsensem no enye o man Ghana ena afi nsu Haiti kwa kopie mu ewo Kenya mu de no kwa de areho se eye petrol anase yemfa ne se fango buo no eye oforiso ogusumi ayesi mu ni da na etosumienu ena aban ahye ede wo ha nchichemu eye aduasa enso 37% aka ho asesi ono mu fango buo no de akosuru yie pa ama eha adwene wo ha hyenkafo akasa
per litre, respectively. The Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority blamed a surge in imported fuel costs for the hikes. Petrol now costs nearly 207 Kenyan shillings, or $1.60 per litre, while diesel retails at 206 shillings. Motorists rushed to fill up their tanks hours before the new prices took effect, causing long lines at service stations. Transport fares immediately shot up, with minibuses raising fares by about 25% overnight. Bus operators increased fares by between $1.54 and $3.86. The ripple effects are expected to spread across the broader economy as rising fuel costs drive up the price of goods and services. Inflation stood at 4.5%.
Kaseɛbɔ benya bi ewa be fontinta fidie so nyina ahwe Facebook Ashanti Prime TV, TikTok Ashanti Prime TV, and YouTube enjoy Ashanti Prime TV. We shall no comment. Wa like no wa share a day. Amame ensema me de be so mo e wesi media santem no edosu ye. Ni di makoti ni bi enie. Ghana Mampanyi His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Edin Sembia to Abontene efa eye free primary health care policy awode aba. Samson also afwa wo share amahodo so nsem so no nyamfo Samuel Kujeto ablakwa Kaseɛbɔ ensem we ne nsem awudo pie kan nam de besom wo se prime mewia Premotobre Kaseɛbɔ na ansa na me sorry so no na munim se ba bi adigye ewo bia no me snapchat me wo honom ebi entinya me aduma eye 18th of April I memenda edi anim ya ye nyina ye nkonko pie mu ewo sapema eye Macedonia ewo ensawam ekwan so enkran yenyina yenkoni nkopie mu honom enkwagie ni next party next party ekoso ewo hon nyame adoma Saturday ya ndie start free anopa 9 am so say wow bebre nti we say nka adwade mpo ewo hanom si amene ni kogine man ke beba the next day so atiase anigie enko a live band ebe start nyame adoma ochina enumre nti mu anwo kwan wa no betumi akonyame adoma ochina anopa china fi obekwa anopa no wakwa akoduru no na chese wadodwo ho kakra na enumre no the live band no aye ade a star guest oba DJ Max obebo yenyom ankasa DJ Max enti na ebusia yenyina yema yenan enyentia ewo Macedonia na enkwaji yani kama hanum say na breba makwan amameje prime Maria Premotobre Kaseɛ ni nyina esie me ameje penia bekenkan Kaseɛ mu amu so hia me abonten adi ameje so ene mes now start makra obia
bebrene akoso ewo yemmem ha enne nkofo amanso empeni se ade achi na se yanti asemfofra enne na yachi na mibiso what in yekoso social media ho be kire aba fontinta fidie ni so woni ne yekoso ewo ho no enne na dwebrene tie me adwoade mpo me ne mapamfo ewo Ashanti Prime TV ebina da bia enne yawada bia wabra aboyume no num wabra ye di dwumede onwaso bi ato di prime trend ebre wo prime trend so ameni mapamfo ye besinkonya ne de nsam a wonte da na wonfa wani ehu da egunsani ni ne abobo mu ne de no kra no ato ne da sansan pani say the ade ne da no one found to wa eya na free talk afenso wo prime trend so no ye be ma wakonya na wo so de wadwenkire aba eni kasem esanso wo mu ne say prime trend jumediye mu no afa baby wo wa obesiria enunti na mse hia me adwoade mpo me ne mapamfo ewo Ashanti Prime TV clock it